everyone, my name is Christy and this video is a little bit different today. This is actually a tag called If I Had a Bookstore. And I was tagged by the lovely Victoria over at Hot Cocoa and Books, and I am so excited that she tagged me on this. Like, she had no idea that Bookish Kelly and I were actually just talking about this very topic like maybe like a week before she tagged me on it. And so I was like, what? Okay, I'm totally doing this. This is amazing. So Bookish Kelly and I were just having like a little dream session over Instagram. Like, if we had our own bookstore, like what would it be like? And this tag is just perfect. It fits right in. Mine is gonna be a little bit different because I'm actually a business girly. My husband and I run two different businesses, and I've done different businesses throughout the years. So I'm very like detailed about these sorts of things. Like, I want to know like what's the profit and like stuff like that. So this may be like a little bit more detailed than what is really necessary for this tag, but that sort of thing is like fun for me. And I feel like the more detailed you are with that sort of thing, the more likely it is that it could actually happen. And even if I don't personally get to do this someday, I'm like, maybe if I just put it out there, somebody out there will, with a lot of money and a lot of capital and everything, will be able to like take this idea and run with it. So we'll see. And if not, it's just fun to dream, I think. Okay, so here we go. This bookstore, if I had one, would have only clean books, no spice books. Spicy books would not be allowed in this store. So a closed door girly like me would be able to walk in and pick any book off the shelf and buy it and not be afraid that there would be something in there that would make me DNF it. Like some kind of terrible scene that has all this sexual content. That's not going to be in this store. On top of that, I would love to have some kind of an indicator that actually even tells you the level of intimacy within the clean, no spice world, because everybody has different levels of comfort as far as that goes. And I really would love it if people could just walk into the store and know exactly what they're getting, especially if you have younger teens and people that just have general sensitivities to that sort of thing. So I would want to have some kind of an indicator, whether like a color system or maybe like the shelving or maybe even like a little slip of paper that you stick in the front of the book. I don't know, something that would say this has only kissing, this has a heavy makeout scene, so that people would know exactly what they're getting when they buy a book. Just the thought of that makes me so excited, because that doesn't exist anywhere, at least not that I know of. I mean, I think there's one maybe out like in Utah or something like that. If there is a clean bookstore, it's certainly not in my area. It's the most frustrating thing in the world that I walk into a Barnes & Noble or, another independent bookstore, and it's like, oh, this book looks great. It has a beautiful cover. The back sounds amazing, but like, what does it have in it? I probably can't buy this because it's got something bad in it. And like, I don't know, I just don't want to have to sit there and like look up every book on my phone, I want the freedom to be able to go in and know what I'm getting. And this being a no spice, clean bookstore would also have a huge emphasis on children's books, because I'm a mama and I love children's books. And so there would be multiple story times throughout the week just to be able to bring children and their parents in the store. It would be free, obviously, for them to come in, and it would just show them the books and just, create this like beautiful atmosphere where a kid could come to the store and they can keep reading as they grow older, and the parents don't have to worry about what's in those books. So now you're probably asking, but Christy, if you do this, how will you make money? Because as an author, I know that the profit margin on books is, in fact, I often wonder how bookstores stay in business. You know, there's a lot of little tiny bookstores around here, and I just like, I don't know how they actually keep going, because I know the profit margins on books and like what it costs for like rent and stuff, you know? So that is why we are going to have a lot of events. And in Victoria's tag, she showed all these beautiful pictures, and I looked and looked for exactly what I'm looking for when I imagine this place, and I couldn't find it. And I don't have time to like draw up a sketch or something or anything like that right now. So I'm just gonna have to describe it for you. But basically when you first walked in, I would want there to be like this, like a very big wide open area, and the books would kind of be off to the side, but there would just be like this big wide open area that people could come, and during the week that we would probably put like tables and chairs and things out there. But then when we have events, we'd move those chairs and tables aside, and we would have Regency costume parties where people could totally come dressed up like it's Pride and Prejudice or Edenbrook or whatever and have a good time. There would probably be like little refreshments out, and I even saw on YouTube that you can learn the little country dances they did in Pride and Prejudice. Like, they're not that hard. So we could probably even do some of those, and it would be something like, you know, you charge $10 for people to get in the door, and we just have a really great time pretending like we're going back in time. So that's one of the things I'd want to do. There would be royalty costume parties where people dress up like princes and princesses. I would do fairy costume parties like the World of the Fae. People wear like masks and wings, just kind of the same thing. I would have a masquerade ball. I would totally do that. I'd want to have daddy-daughter dances. There would be game nights, trivia nights, all these things, you know, charge like $5 to $10 for people to get in the door. It's a great time. I think it would just be the best way to really create a bookish community and just a place where people could just have a great time. And I also want to have vendor fairs, and the way those work is they pay like, I don't know, $75 to $100 for a table, and then they can set up like all their stuff, and people could come in and sell jewelry and stuff, and we do those maybe like once or twice a year. Vendors come in, so that would be another way that we could generate some income, as well as get more people into the store. And authors could come and set up tables. Of course, they would have to be no spice, that kind of thing. There could be author signings, things like that. I also would like this space to be big enough to actually hold small wedding ceremonies, because that is another way that could generate some very good income for the store. And that's actually a thing. People do get married in bookstores. If you search on Pinterest, lots of people are getting married in like all kinds of places these days, and libraries are becoming more popular as a place to get married, and also bookstores. So I would want all the bookish girlies, if that's their dream, to get married in a bookstore, you could totally do it. And then there would be like a cafe area. I mean, it really just depends on like what the area is like. We could switch the area over that was a ceremony space and turn that into a reception space as well. Or I would probably turn the cafe area into the reception space. And obviously there would be a lot of stipulations on these weddings. We wouldn't allow alcohol or anything like that. There could be dancing, but these would be generally smaller. I would say no more than like 75 people, maybe 100. Well, it just depends on how big the space is, but that would be amazing to me. I'm a wedding photographer and I've always dreamed of having a wedding venue, and if I can have that in like put this all together in like a bookstore, that would be so fun. Okay, let's keep going. So not only would there be like a big area in the front where we could have different events and things like that, there would be 2 to 3 classrooms off to the side, and I would hold writing classes, crafting classes, art classes, like people could learn to draw, paint, all kinds of things. And also on the weekends, I would have them available for rent, where people could rent them out for birthday party or baby shower, that sort of thing. So there would be just lots of event space here. And also I would welcome book clubs and Bible studies too. Those would be free though. I would encourage them to like sit out on the little couches or in the cafe area. People could just come in and like do their own thing, kind of thing. Another thing that I would like to have, and before I go any further, if you're like, wow, you need a really big area for all this stuff. Not really. I mean, I walked into my local Barnes & Noble, and it's actually considered a smaller Barnes & Noble because they had to downsize. They moved a couple years ago to like this smaller shopping center, and it's actually considered quite small for a Barnes & Noble, and I thought a space like that would be plenty big for what I'd like to do. And so another thing I'd like to do for the children is I'd like to have a play cafe area where the parents could come and they could, there would be like tables and chairs. They could watch their kids play in this area. They could get some work done. They could read a book if they wanted, and they would pay a monthly membership to be able to take their kids there like unlimited amount of time basically. And these actually exist in my area. There's several that I'm a member of, and believe me, they have saved my life more times than I can count, because trying to write a book, being a photographer, making booktube videos, I need to be able to get work done, and my son is so happy playing these little play cafes. He can play with other children. I can see him. If he needs me, he just runs up to me, gives me a hug. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. And it's actually really affordable. Like, they're only $30 a month. I can't believe that something that valuable to me is so inexpensive. And so I would want to have that in this store as well. And as a result, that would attract kids to have birthday parties there. Now, for this play area, I would like to have some kind of a sound barrier blocking it off. Ideally, it would be a glass, like you could see through it, and you would like go in to this area and you close it and but you could see like the whole thing from the outside. And if for whatever reason we couldn't do that, at least a very big window. So like people could walk by and they'd be like, oh, look, there's the children. But they can't hear them, because I wouldn't want the people out in the rest of the store studying, working, doing whatever, to be disturbed by like a bunch of screaming kids. So yeah, I would love to have something like that. And that would be another way to get people into the store, and as well as generate some good, stable monthly income. Another thing I would like to do to generate some income, and I'm so frustrated, like I don't know why Barnes & Noble doesn't do this. I don't know why more independent bookstores don't do this, because if they did, I would do this. Like, I would totally sign up for this. And okay, so what I want to do is have a monthly membership where you could come in once a month and pick out a book, and it would be like $15 a month, something like that. And for my store, there would be like a certain section or like certain types of books that you could choose, and it would be a wide range. It probably just wouldn't be new releases or hardcovers. If it was a hardcover, it would be because we probably got it heavily discounted or wholesale or something, and maybe it's really old. So there would be certain books that you could choose when they come to pick a book, it could be either a children's book or like an adult book kind of thing. But I would want it to be like a very wide range. I'd want people to have lots to choose from. So they'd come in, pick a book, and then they'd also get 10% off everything else in the store. So what I love about that is that it creates a stable monthly income that you know is coming in every month. Like, you know, like I have this many memberships, like that's how many books we're gonna move kind of thing. It allows us to still move books and make a profit off of the books, as well as it encourages the people to maybe spend a little bit more in our store because they're getting a discount. So either way, it's a win-win. And like I said, if like Barnes & Noble did this, I would do this, right? I would sign up. Like, I'd be excited to come in and pick a book. Like, I love to support independent bookstores. And so I feel like that's a way that I could do that, and it would help me stick to my book budget kind of thing. I don't know. That's just like the things that run through my mind when I think about this. So yeah, I would offer a monthly membership to the store. Okay, I'm almost done with all these special things, and then I'm actually gonna get to the tag questions. So I really just want this place to be like a combination of like all the things I love, like events, the bookish community, book clubs, weddings, things like that, parties, kids. And I also love plants. So it wouldn't be huge, but there would be a little section where I would sell indoor plants, things like that, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are like bookish people that also love plants, and they make a great gift. I propagate a lot of plants, so I would probably sell a lot of plants that I propagated myself. And also I love flowers, and someday I'd like to have a property where I literally like cut flowers. So if that were to happen, I would probably make a flower bar, if you've ever heard of that, where you have like all these different types of flowers in like buckets, and people can come and like make their own bouquet. So I just think that would be really fun, and just like a really nice addition, another way to generate some income for the store. That would probably mostly be a seasonal thing, although dried flowers people really like those too. So we'll see. Like I said, I want to just combine all the things that I love in this place. And I was telling my husband about it, that I just want this place to be like, if this were to actually happen, like as I grow older, like this is a place I'd want to spend my time. Like this is a place I'd want to be. So like, and to create this for people, it would just be like, oh, it would just be so great. Okay, last but not least, I'd also sell so much cute bookish merch. Like I love bookish t-shirts. I wish that they, like if bookstores had more cute bookish shirts and sweatshirts available, like I would buy them. They just don't, like the ones around here. I go in there and I'm like, that's not cute. I would have bookmarks, I would sell candles, I'd sell puzzles. I would sell tons of classics merch, because that's like really a thing. Barnes & Noble's been doing that lately, where they're like taking some of the classics and making like flower vases shaped out of books, and they have mugs and things like that. So I would have a lot of Jane Austen merch as well, because she's super popular. I'd have Jane Austen t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, like bookmarks, like all kinds of like Jane Austen things that I would sell. And other classes as well, like a lot of other favorites out there, like the Count of Monte Cristo, things like that. So I don't know. I think bookish merch is just so fun, and I think it would do really well. Okay, now we're actually gonna get to the tag questions. Now that I talked for like a really long time about all that stuff. Hopefully I didn't scare you guys out there. But the first question is, what are the hours of operation? I would open up the store from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. just because we'd be having lots of events almost on a nightly basis. So I'd want people to be able to come after work. And at 9 a.m. is a good time for like the children to come in. So that's the thought process behind those hours. If there's a really special event like a wedding, then obviously I would extend it, you know, if they wanted to stay there till 10 o'clock. Yeah, but what we would do for a wedding is we probably would shut down the store for that. Because that would just be weird, like people walking in and out. So I would definitely shut down the store for that. Is there ambient music? What kind? Yes, I would have whimsical fairy tale type music playing. I would have Christian instrumental music playing. Also vintage jazz. I love the vintage jazz, especially at Christmas time. Like that's my favorite. Like give me some instrumental vintage jazz Christmas music. That is like my happy place. Is there a coffee bar? Do you serve alcohol? Yes. I would definitely have a coffee bar serving coffee and tea. I would also serve other foods as well. I would want all those foods to be like super clean because I'm really into like, you know, foods that don't have a lot of like processed things and sugars and preservatives and all that stuff. Like I really like clean, natural food. I'd want it to be the kind of place where I would feel comfortable eating, like, and my family. Like if I wouldn't feed my own son that, then why would I want it to sell it to other people? So I would make sure that whatever we were selling, that it was very clean ingredients, healthy ingredients, as natural as possible. That goes for the coffee. This is getting so detailed. Sorry, you guys. So I'm also really into, I'm becoming more aware of how much plastic we are ingesting all the time. And one of the biggest places that people are ingesting it is coffee shops, tea shops, because anytime plastic is heated up or comes in contact with heat, it breaks down and you can't see it, you can't even taste it, but it's ending up in your stomach, it's getting into your organs, it's getting into your brain. They're just finding all this research, like people are having so many health issues, weird health issues that people never had before nowadays, and there's a lot of different reasons, but one of them is we're eating and drinking a lot of plastic, and you have been since you were born. And I'm really glad that people are now becoming aware of this sort of thing. So anyway, that being said, I would want all my coffee makers to be like completely metal. They do make them where the coffee is not coming in contact with any sort of plastic at all. They make like they're plant-based coffee cups where there's no plastic, there's no chemicals, anything like that. And it's got a plant-based lid. So if people had a to-go cup, then that's what I would give them. And also then I would probably, if they were staying in the shop, I would just give them like a mug or something, and they could return it and we'd wash it, sort of thing. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be giving people plastic. So that's really huge. Also, I don't know about this because I don't know how you can do this with like an actual store, but a lot of tea bags actually have plastic, and even if it's a cloth tea bag, that cloth has chemicals and can have chemicals and bad substance in it. So I've been drinking mostly loose leaf tea, where it's like you have the herbs going through a metal strainer versus a tea bag. So if people wanted tea, I would just need to figure out like how we could serve them the loose leaf tea that way, kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know. I just want people to be healthy if they're gonna eat and drink in my store. Are patrons allowed to linger? Are there comfortable chairs? What kind of lighting? Are there tables? Are there areas for group gatherings? So I answered a lot of these questions, and yes, I want people to come to my store. I want them to feel like it's a cozy, safe place. They can come, they can work, they can just hang out. They don't have to buy anything. They can just come and chill and be around books and just, yeah, just be in a really great atmosphere for a little while. Lighting. I wouldn't want the lighting to be too bright, because if it is, that actually damages the books. The sun, the contact with the sun will fade the cover of books. So there would probably be some big windows in the front of the store, but then the books would be kind of like pushed back. And there would be, you know, obviously bright enough lighting for like people to see, but it wouldn't be too bright, because I am concerned about like the colors on the book covers kind of thing. Is there live entertainment, poetry readings, authors readings from their current works, lectures, and literature? I don't know about poetry readings. I don't see why not. I mean, obviously if it was like maybe like kids poems or something like that, I think that would be great. Definitely I would invite authors into the store. I would also like to have an author conference someday, or like an author / booktube meetup conference thing. If this place actually existed, I think that would be amazing. People could come meet their favorite authors, do signings. They could also take some classes. That would be amazing. I don't know if it'd be big enough for like the scale that I would want to do that. I might actually have to rent a different space if I actually put together like a book conference or a author conference sort of thing. But it could be an option. It could be one of the locations that we have classes and different events and things. Where is your bookstore located? So I live in the Raleigh area, and I would want it to be in a place that is just pretty central to that area. I feel like you can get like pretty much, I don't know, the way it's laid out, it's like I feel like you can get pretty much anywhere good in like 30 minutes or less. So as long as it's like 30 minutes or less from like Raleigh, I think that's a good place to have it. How does your bookstore look from the outside? Sleek and modern or dark and brooding? I think I would go with cozy, garden, cottagecore. I would literally have like artificial flowers, probably like vines and flowers and sparkly lights like trailing up the bookcases. Like there would just be flowers. I would want it to look very garden-like. There's one section where I would actually make it look like a little miniature treeling village, which is in my book. So there would be like lots of trees and things like that. I love trees. I love the forest. I think there's just something so magical about that when you combine that with books. So I would, it would be like a combination of like trees and flowers like all over the store. It would just be very cozy and garden-esque. What is your specialty? Used books, new and used, only fiction, only nonfiction? Okay, so I already told you obviously that I want only clean books. I think I would probably just stick to new books. I don't know that I would do used books. I mean, maybe if somebody wanted to sell us back a book that we actually sell in the store, or like we would buy it from them for like a discounted rate and then resold that, I would do that. I just don't know how popular that would be and if we'd be able to get enough books. I feel like that little bookshelf of people selling back their used books would be kind of small. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's something I would have to think about. What is the name of your bookstore? I have no idea. It takes me forever to think of names. I honestly have no idea. I'd probably have to play with it for a while. All right, so I'm gonna tag Kelly from Bookish Kelly because obviously I already mentioned her and I want you guys to hear what her bookstore is gonna be like. And I would like to find out what Kay from Kay's Library's bookstore would be like if she had one. I would like to find out if Alma from Alma's Book Journey had a bookstore, what it would be like. Taylor from Tales and Treats with Tay, and Oshina. So that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time.